Has your nonverbal communication ever revealed how you truly feel about a person? I know that I'm guilty of that, and I'm going to talk about that a little later in my speech. Verbal and nonverbal communication are necessary for functioning in everyday life. I will be explaining the links between totalizing, static evaluation, kinesics, paralanguage, and dual perspective. Totalizing is responding to people as if one aspect of them were the sum of who they are. An example is Kathleen was lazy in one team project and now is spoken of as she's lazy when asked by other employees, how is it having Kathleen on your team? Totalizing is not giving a chance to see different aspects of someone. Along with the idea of totalizing a person in verbal communication, we may use static evaluation to insinuate that a person won't change. Static evaluation is an assessment that suggests something is unchanging or static. Stating earlier that coworkers now perceive Kathleen as being lazy, they make solid statements about her, like Kathleen is lazy when speaking of her. Static evaluation is not changing your opinion on someone. It insinuates a person will not change. The idea in our assessment of thinking someone won't change may also lead to nonverbal kinesics. Kinesics are body position, body motion, including those of the face, which making a grimace at the idea of working with Kathleen because you've heard that she is lazy. This facial change may be knowingly or unknowingly. Kinesics can be connected to paralanguage to add to a reaction to someone or something. Paralanguage is a vocal communication that doesn't include actual words. It's a noise or a sound of disapproval of being put on a project with Kathleen, which would be accompanied by the grimace. Coworkers may display a different reaction to Kathleen now in entering a social environment. Paralanguage may be used with dual perspective once both parties communicate their points of view efficiently. Dual perspective is the ability to understand another person's perspective, beliefs, thoughts, or feelings. Understanding another person's point of view and explaining what your point of view is and still interacting on both parties' understandings is an example of dual perspective. And this may also help to understand a person instead of totalizing or having static impressions of that person. Talking out each other's perspectives is also another example of dual perspective. In closing, totalizing, static evaluation, kinesics, paralanguage, and dual perspective are linked together to get a person's point across, verbally and non-verbally. And as I said earlier, I am guilty of totalizing a person and not realizing that my kinesics gave me away in my negative perception of that person. Later, I engaged in dual perspective and there was no longer static evaluation. Communication, be it verbal or nonverbal, are very important in our everyday lives. And thank you for listening.